Welcome to CHUDCAST episode 2. I'm your host, Dylan Chudzik. Today we have a very special guest. I think you guys will appreciate him very much. His name is Samuel Swanson. He's an ordained reverend, the best slackliner in Monmouth County, and one of my close friends. So, without further ado, I introduce to you my friend, Samuel Swanson. Okay, we got the Reverend Safari here. Just start off, introduce yourself, Sam.
Yo, what's up, guys? My name's Sam. I'm the president of the Outdoors Club and the greatest slackliner in Monmouth County.
Okay, how did you get started slacklining?
I watched this documentary when I was like a little kid about all these homeless people in Yosemite Valley, and that's like where the sport started. And the second I saw this dude Dean Potter like fucking walking a little tightrope between two mountains, I knew I had to do it at one point.
So like how did you learn? Did you just go out and get one, or like did your parents have one, or?
Yeah, I did it a little bit when I was a little kid, but I didn't get back into it until I was in high school. And at that point I just bought a super cheap shitty one on Amazon and just fucking sent it. And after a week or two I was walking.
So that's pretty cool. You were saying so like you saw a homeless dude on TV do it?
Yeah, dude. So the OG slackliners were all these homeless guys in Yosemite Valley who would just sleep on rocks and eat. There's a really famous story of how they used to eat cat food, expired cat food, to survive.
What's the craziest slackline stunt you've ever done?
I haven't done anything too crazy. Those guys are always trying to convince me to go highlining, but.
That's between two buildings?
Two buildings, just generally a slack line that's very high up in the air. More than 20, 25 feet is, I think, the base level standard for it.
Do you know what's the highest height that you've slacklined?
I would probably say 10 feet, 10 to 12 feet. But that was with no leash, so it's sketchier than doing high line.
No leash, is that Oh, so if you fall on the high line...
You're tied in. So that's, quite frankly, highlining is actually safer than regular slacklining in a park, because with regular slacklining in a park, there's a solid object underneath you that if you fall, you're going to have to make contact with that solid object.
Okay.
But highlining, it's as long as you don't clip yourself the wrong way with the line, dude, you're not getting hurt at all.
Have you ever eaten cat food?
I don't think so.
I don't know if you feel comfortable answering this, but I know one time you told me that you were homeless at one point.
I was homeless this summer.
So tell us that story.
So I was bumming around in Brooklyn all year. I had a crib in Brooklyn. I was working at this sick Caribbean club, making my night moves, working on my dance hall dances. And then I knew I wanted to go to Brookdale for the fall semester, and I was getting real sick of paying rent in Brooklyn. So I decided to just head back to my hometown for a little bit and see where the wind takes me. And so I was living in Alair State Park and the surrounding area for 2 or 3 weeks and crashing at homies' houses in between.
So why'd you know you want to go to Brookdale? What are you majoring in?
Computer science.
Computer science. Are you good with computers?
Yeah, I like to think so.
So what is that, coding and
programming or whatever. My dad worked for Microsoft when I was a little kid, so we were always brought up as little computer nerds.
That's interesting. I know that about you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, we used to do some crazy shit. They have these things on motherboards to computers. Me and my dad used to run this gold circuit back in the day. We used to scrap gold from old computers and cell phones. And so I was a little kid. I was 6 or 7, and he taught me how to solder so I could remove gold components off of a motherboard.
Wow.
And then to make it fun for me, they have these little things called resistors on a motherboard that just absorb current, and if you hook up a car battery to them, they just explode. And so my dad used to give me a little car battery in his apartment living room in Long Branch, and I would just fucking attach it to the motherboard and then jump back and just make resistors explode all day. It was a
just
fucking blast.
Making bombs at the age of How old?
Well, I was like 7, but you figure it's like small explosions, and as long as you put like silly putty or like clay or something on your smoke detector, it's like nothing bad's gonna happen.
You also got Lyme disease
I did while I was homeless.
While you were
My
homeless?
stint, Alair State Park, believe it or not, Dylan, is the Lyme's disease capital of the world.
Really?
To what I know. Yeah, that place is terrible, dude. Literal park of malice and sin and pain and disease and pestilence.
I probably wouldn't go back there after that.
Well, I'm kind of tied to it. You know, I got this tattoo for Alair, so
That's what's up.
it's like a love-hate relationship.
Where's the tattoo at?
The Riverman one?
Oh, that's for Alair. He's got a
Yeah.
Riverman tattoo on his right boob. That's a pretty sick tat.
Yeah, you know, it's like just an abusive relationship. I'm just kind of a simp for the park, and the park just attacks me.
How many tattoos do you have?
If I were to guess, at least like 10 probably.
10 tattoos?
Yeah, I'm about to go get my right elbow tatted in the
What are you
next
gonna get?
week or two, I think. I'm getting cobwebs around the elbow.
That's pretty sick. If I get my first tat, where should I get it and what should I get?
Honestly, do you mess with like leg tattoos more or like arm tattoos?
Probably like some sort of arm tat. Like
You
this
want something
vicinity.
like big or like small?
something that small that I won't regret.
If you're going small, I would go like a lot of people have. That's the thing. If you get it, I would say forearm, but if you get it on the forearm, it is going to be exposed more. So, like, if you want it to be, like, real out of sight, out of mind in case you don't like it, I would go for, like, somewhere on the inside of the bicep or something.
What do you think what kind of design would look good on me?
Big dragon or something.
big dragon?
Yeah. Spider. I was going to get a giant spider on my shoulder.
What kind of spider? Any kind?
I really mess with brown recluses.
I was
but,
about to say,
you know,
recluses are kind of sick.
could go with anything.
Scariest animal that you've ever seen?
The scariest animal I've ever seen
With your, like, 2 eyes.
in person.
Yeah.
Are we counting like zoos or just like a wild
Like
habitat?
a wild encounter. I feel like you would have, like, maybe seen, like, some sort of chupacabra or...
Seen a couple bears, but black bears are kind of weak little babies, so I wouldn't count them as that scary. Me and my dad were mushroom hunting in Ocala State National Forest in Florida. I think it was last year or something, and I almost stepped on a little pair of baby pygmy rattlesnakes.
Ooh.
And those were pretty sketchy. At a zoo, just a huge shark or something, honestly. Jenkinsons used to have huge, like, alligators or crocodiles or something in this open enclosure. I was terrified of those things.
Have you ever been to Georgia Aquarium?
Nah. Is
Dude,
it
they
sick?
just added hammerhead sharks and
No
tiger
way.
sharks.
For
there.
real?
Massive.
Yeah, it's got to be sick.
Super scary to see in person. Like you wouldn't, you never see that type of stuff in person. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen that type of stuff in person. I know you're a surfer. Have you ever seen sharks when you go surfing?
I think I've maybe like caught like the actual glimpse of like maybe 1 or 2 like tiny little dog sharks. But I've been in the water like once or twice when the beach gets like vacated for there being like a little thresher shark or something, maybe like 4 or 5 feet. But you figure once everyone gets kicked out, then there's no one in the lineup, so that's the best time to surf.
How long have you been surfing for?
It's only been like 3 years now. 3 years. I only learned how to swim when I was like a junior in high school.
Really? So like before that, it was just.
I would have drowned.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you a good swimmer? Do you consider yourself a good swimmer now?
I think I'm like pretty average. I'm not 10 out of 10. If my leash snaps in like 6 foot plus, I'll probably just take the L and die. But I can get around.
How long can you hold your breath for?
But when I was on the swim team senior year before I started smoking a pack a day, I could go for almost like somewhere beyond a minute.
Wow. Have you seen those guys like the Polynesian fishermen that could stay under there for like 14 minutes?
Yeah, no, that's wild,
That's
dude.
wild.
I don't even know. Those guys are like next level. There's like free divers too who can dive to like 200 meters just on like one breath. I could never,
Dude,
yeah.
I'd probably have a panic attack at the bottom and
Yeah,
drown.
even when I snorkel, the second I get to like 11 or 12 feet, I'm like, I'm just gonna drown, dude. I'm not making it back up.
Where do you snorkel at?
I'll snorkel a fair amount, just like off the jetties and in the inlet in like Belmar and Spring Lake. I'll go down to Florida to visit my dad once in a while, and I'll snorkel down there.
Where does he live at in Florida?
He's in St. Petersburg. It's near Tampa.
That's also near? Is that near Sarasota? Do you know?
I'm gonna just say yes.
I think so.
That sounds familiar.
No, I've been to Sarasota, and I went snorkeling there, and there was like a red tide or something. There's nothing there, and
that's crazy.
My skin started itching, and I go on the shore, and there's like lines of dead pufferfish. It was super sad.
Yeah, with that, oh my God, those red tides, dude, that's terrifying.
Yeah. So around here, like, what is your favorite beach? We're on the Jersey Shore. What would you say your favorite beach is?
I would just call myself at this point probably a local at Remsen Avenue and Spring Lake, but it's like a love-hate relationship.
I love Spring Lake.
It's like really crowded. There's a lot of people just like messing around too much. The best like break I like actually surfing, not just like hanging out at, is probably Lock Harbor and Asbury.
Asbury's a good surfing spot?
Yeah, they got some sick beaches, honestly. Besides like the Manasquan Inlet, from what I've heard, some of the best surfing beaches around here are in like Asbury and Deal.
So you've been in this area most of your life?
Yeah, I was like born and raised in Wall Township. And especially with the woods and everything, my dad used to take me fossil hunting like every single weekend as a kid. So been around the parks and stuff my whole life around here.
That's how you're kind of like a tour guide. We went fossil hunting at a park, and he was kind of the guide to that experience. But you kind of live in those woods. You know the area?
Yeah, man. I've spent a number of nights. I had this big kick, especially. It was like junior and senior year of high school. I was like challenging myself to see how many nights I could just sleep outside in the summer. And I was getting like a fair amount of nights because I had thrown out my mattress. So my choices were either sleep on the hardwood floor, which like I was pretty into at the time, sleep on just like a pad outside, or sleep in my hammock. And the hammock was usually the most comfy option, so I would just be in the woods a lot, sleeping outside.
That's pretty sick. Dude, I've slept in a hammock before, but I could never imagine going like a day or two. You were close to your house?
Yeah, I would just hike off. I was in this section in North Wall where I was right near this little like part of the woods called the U. That's like just a cool little like section of forest in the middle of Wall Township. Ton of woods right there, and I was also around the corner from Shark River Park too.
That's where we're going tomorrow if the weather holds up.
If the weather holds up, it is looking pretty rainy out right now.
I was looking forward to that.
I might just send it in the rain if it's nice enough, honestly.
I'm down to go in the rain. My boots are waterproof.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm just gonna strip down into the baggies and send it barefoot. That's usually the move.
Dude, so are the bottom of your feet like rubber, like a tire, or?
You know, I've really fallen off the barefoot game in the past like year or so. I had this crazy thing. I stepped on like, it was like a 2 or a 3 inch shard of glass went straight into my heel. So I've been like a little like post-traumatic about it since. So my barefoot game's been off, but I would say they're tougher than the average foot for sure.
I used to be on barefoot gang last year, actually. I mean, I lived up north. We had a woods near my house I would always go to and rope swing into the water. We'd go there like every day. I'd just be barefoot. But dude, it's honestly like kind of freeing, you know?
Like you figure you wash your feet every day.
Yeah, exactly.
How often do you wash the bottom of your shoes?
It's kind of like you take pride in having the bottom of your feet that hard.
Yeah, and dude, there's something so like natural about it. Like you just feel like a real part of the environment. You're just like gangster. One with nature. Yeah. It's also like I'm real big on like the health proponent too. I think like modern shoes are really bad for human feet.
I've heard that my trainer from high school had like a barefoot shoe, so it literally had no support. It was just like a rubber sole around his foot, and he said like it took him years to get adjusted to that. But now it's like a lot of his like back pain and stuff is resolved because of that.
No, it's far. I got a couple barefoot shoes, and I run exclusively barefoot. I don't think I've ever went for a run in like regular trainers before.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. I have New Balances. You run a lot?
Not really. I've been trying to get into it the past few months.
Same. Have you run in the past, or you're just getting into running?
I did it. I started a little bit. I was never one for like cardio growing up, or at least cardio in the sense of running. I always hated running for some reason. Especially like when I was throwing javelin in early high school. Like, the only reason I picked javelin is because it was the only event in track and field where you did not have to run at all. But like during quarantine, I was so bored, and I'm like, let's just like see how like far I can go. And then once I moved to New York, I started running a little bit more, and now that I've been back in Asbury, I've been running a bunch.
Dude, I ran cross country all 4 years of my high school, so I was a pretty serious runner at one point.
An athlete.
And kind of took off after high school, like didn't run for a while, and then I just got back into it recently. I mean, I never liked it, even when I was doing cross country. It's just I was doing it just to do the sport and because I love the team. Something about running, man. It's just like hurts.
Yeah, it's like a real pain. Even when I get like psyched up, like halfway through, it's still like, God, I could just like stop right now. But
Yeah. It's tough. It's really more of a mind thing.
yeah, I kind of like it though. It's one of those like mental pains.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just like the physical, you gotta like endure, or you like just have to push yourself through. It's like a cold shower, or like jumping into the ocean in the winter or something. There's just so like thrilling.
Speaking about jumping into the ocean in winter, let's talk about the Adventure Club. So we're gonna do the polar plunge.
Polar plunge. We're looking.
Do you have a plan, like the date for that?
So,
I'm just not to put you on the spots for the podcast.
so we're looking at mid-December right now. I'm probably gonna. I don't want to set a exact date yet. I gotta see when the weekend is, but probably somewhere between like the 16th and the 20th.
I understand that you're a reverend. I wanted to ask you about that.
I am legally ordained. I prefer Reverend Safari, but you can say Reverend Sam, Reverend Samuel. That's my biblical name. I do weddings for pretty cheap. If I know you, if the connection's good, it's $50 and a case of PBR, plus travel accommodations, of course. I'm trying to get into baptisms right now. That's a hot market that I've been trying to break into. Babies, they need to be baptized. I can do it. The little head dunk thing, just take the head right into the water.
Like you ever seen The Big Lebowski?
Yeah,
Like that?
just like that.
Are you religious?
Not particularly. I float around, I'm into it. I got the line of Judah on my body.
So how do you get ordained as a reverend? Is there like a school? Is there like a program?
Well, it's actually, for me, it was pretty easy. Being a reverend is, nowadays it's kind of a dime a dozen. I don't want to expose myself here, but
You don't have to release any trade secrets.
it's just, they got websites, man. They got websites you can do anything on, and becoming a reverend is one of those things you can do on websites.
Oh, okay. So you could legally marry people.
I can legally marry
You
people.
could legally baptize
Baptize
people.
any child
Any child.
whenever I want.
See, I don't know if I was baptized yet.
Do you want to be baptized?
So I was thinking, what are your rates like?
For a baptism?
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah. Does it go by like square foot, like square inches of the body? Is it like surface area?
How much do you weigh soaking wet?
Soaking wet. And shorts? Or
Yeah.
or we don't have clothes on.
You're probably going to have to wear a bathing suit.
Okay. I'd say wet, soaking wet, I'd probably like 217.
217. So I would say like divide that by like 4.5
That's your rate?
and then multiply it by like however many times you've sinned. And then, but that's in cents, not dollars. So it's still.
So then you have to divide by 100 to get the dollar amount.
I mean, if you want to, man, you can divide however you want, but that is the monetary value I've assigned to my baptism.
Okay, so then Where would this be at? Where do you have like a swimming pool, some sort of holy pond or holy bird bath?
Well, so there's two types of baptisms. I forget the exact names, but there's like a fusion, I think it's called, and one other one where I can just use holy water on your head and like say my whole prayer thing and everything. And then that's it. Or the real like traditional type of like Catholic baptism, where you actually get the full dunk. You get the full like dunk.
Have you performed any?
I have been trying to. It's been pretty hard to find babies to baptize with the whole COVID epidemic. Yeah, and people get real offended when you go up to them and ask if their baby's baptized. I think people are really ashamed of how sinful they are, and they just don't like answering these kinds of questions.
I mean, that's the best way to attract business. Just shame them into baptizing their child.
I'm not saying your child's gonna like be the kind of kid to like rip apart insects if he doesn't get baptized, man, but like Joker was created somehow, dude.
Joker wasn't baptized, definitely.
Joker was not baptized.
What was the biggest animal that you've seen with your two eyes?
Are we talking like mass or height or width?
Mass, just mass, like the biggest absolute unit of an animal that you've seen.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive I've seen like a moose at one point, and those things are Goliaths.
Then they're pretty dangerous as well.
Very dangerous. Have you read Hatchet?
No. What's that?
Like some kid gets lost in the woods and gets almost killed by a moose, yeah. I think that's, quite frankly, the scariest animal in North America to me.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I would put them up there right with grizzly bears.
Grizzly bears. And so what do you do when you see a grizzly bear?
A grizzly bear?
Is that the one you play dead?
Yeah, you play dead. Because you can't outrun them, and they're extremely aggressive. So you just like hope for the best.
You play dead and hope they don't get...
You play dead, and you don't want to expose your front when you're playing dead. So you want to lie like face down, and if they try to flip you, you just try to like roll over real like cautiously so they can't flip you, and then hopefully they'll just like leave you alone.
Does bear spray work on grizzly bears?
I am not positive. I would probably say like nah. Like if a grizzly, that's what it comes down to, unless you have like a gun. If a grizzly bear is coming, if a full-sized adult male grizzly bear is coming at you with full stature, you're just kind of beat. There's no way around it. It's the apex predators.
Have you ever seen a whale?
I've seen a lot of porpoise. I've never seen a whale.
Porpoise, that's dolphins, right?
Yeah, dolphins. The common harbor porpoise. Very sick animal. I love those guys.
They're nice.
They're real cute. I went on a whale watching trip to Cape May.
Did you see anything?
A lot of common harbor porpoise and a fair amount of dolphins.
That's nice. How much was the trip? I wanted to go on one.
We did it through the school, so it was super cheap. I think it was only my high school. I think it was only like $10.
Oh wow. We should do that for Adventure Club one day.
No, for sure we could go whale watching. Yeah, that was fire. That was the best year of field trips in my school's like history. We went whale watching. We went to the Philly Flower Show, which was sick. And then we had my first annual fossil trip, which was like just a banger to end the year on.
And you led that trip?
I did lead that trip.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it was rad. It worked out really well. We got a pretty wild haul of shark teeth in those 2 hours.
None like mine, though.
Definitely not like yours, yeah.
What is your favorite type of music to listen to? Do you listen to music?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of music. This past year, I've been listening to a ton of dance hall. A lot of dance hall.
What type of music is that?
It's like a post reggae genre that like came out of like Jamaica and the Caribbean. It's like I'm trying to think if there's any popular songs. You know that song Joanna?
Joanna, is that it?
Yeah,
That's dance hall.
That would be like I would probably classify that as a mix between like dance hall and Afrobeat, and like Afrobeat's like a newer type of dance hall, but it's just like reggae with like synths and like electronic drums,
That's
and
pretty
it's
sick.
more like hype. It's like kind of like if you're going for like the grand scheme of like Caribbean and Jamaican like music genres, dance hall is like the club music. It's called dance hall because that's where it's like played, is in these big dance halls, and everyone just like vibes.
That's sick. How did you get into that type of music?
I like my friends got me listening to. I used to listen to like a lot of Sublime, and then that led me to get into some like old reggae. And my friends are like were super into it for a really long time, so they would just send me a ton of playlists. And then like I started to be able to differentiate, and I'm like, oh, this is like a dance hall song. And then I like figured out I like dance hall a lot more. And then I think the whole crux of it was I was working at this Caribbean like fine dining place in New York. I was the lead server, and it was like fine dining downstairs and like a club upstairs with like Afrobeat and soca and dance hall and everything in between. And just like being there all the time, and talking to all like Jamaican and Caribbean like customers, I feel like my knowledge of dance hall really like shot up, and I got way more into it.
So is there like dance hall clubs? Like what's the scene like? Is there like
So nowadays, like from what I can tell, I really like I don't know what's going on in Jamaica, quite frankly. I've never been there. I don't know what they're doing. But they're definitely like I would probably say like soca and Afrobeat are probably more popular than dancehall nowadays in like that kind of community. And Afrobeat's just like a kind of like newer version of dancehall, I would think of it as.
what are you gonna name your kid? Are you planning on having kids? And if you did, what would you name one?
I would like to have like 5 daughters.
Five daughters.
I got some pretty I wanted to name, if I had a boy, I was gonna name him Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Yeah.
But what would you name one of the girls?
I would like to have 3 daughters specifically. If they could be triplets, that would be even better. Sequoia, Sienna, and Sierra.
And then the other two, would you name the same thing? Like, would you name them like
go some like Buck Wild names? I think I would name one Buckwheat and the other
Buck?
yeah, the one's name is gonna be Buckwheat, and if I'm just like throwing like a second name out there, maybe Lensler. I think that would be a cute name for a girl.
Is that derived from maybe like lentil soup? Do you like lentil soup?
I'm a black bean kind of guy. I mess with black bean soup. Lentil is like 50-50. It's like a hit or miss for me.
What about baked beans?
I like baked beans. Ugh. I can do baked beans. I can't do refried beans. I think that's a criminal
nasty.
act.
Yeah, that's definitely a criminal act. Have you ever heard the saying, beans, good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart?
Yes, I think that's true.
You think it's true?
At least 6 to 8 cans of beans a week.
6? Wow. So all black beans?
Usually, black beans like my main squeeze, but I'll
like
rotate.
red beans?
Like red beans, mainly pinto. If I'm switching it up to anything else, it's usually pinto.
Pinto beans. That's interesting. I haven't met a lot of pinto fans. I know a lot of baked beans fans. I had actually the other day I had a whole can of that.
I think Chipotle really put me onto the pinto scene. I wasn't into pintos before.
What is your Chipotle order?
I get both the beans, both the rices, the fajita veggies, sofrita, pico de gallo, a little bit of the hotter middle salsa, corn salsa, and lettuce.
How many times do you have Chipotle? Is it often?
I'm kind of in broke boy mode right now, so I haven't been crushing too many burritos, but in my prime, I was definitely eating it at least like 4 to 5 times a week.
Yeah, you need that money. You got to go to New Paul's, right?
Yeah, man, gotta.
What is New Paul's? That's upstate New York?
Yeah, it's a part of it's like in the middle. It's like it's probably say it's like 2 hours from the city or something, 3 hours from the city. It's a SUNY school, which means it's a part of the state college system.
New Paltz is the name of the school?
Yeah, New Paltz.
New Paltz. Okay.
Yeah, it's near Poughkeepsie, New York. I'm trying to think about what
Poughkeepsie.
I know about it.
Have you ever seen the Poughkeepsie tapes?
No, what's that about?
It's a crazy horror movie.
Horror movies kind of bug me out.
You don't
honestly.
like horror movies?
Dude,
What's your favorite movie genre?
Rom-com, I think.
We ever seen A Bee's Life?
Yeah.
Is that like a rom-com?
I would throw it in there.
You would throw it in there?
Yeah, I mean, Barry B. Benson is like a romantic, if you think about it, a real Casanova with that human girl. I mean, like, that's like a pretty impressive feat for a bee to, like...
Land a chick like that.
Land a chick like that, dude.
Are you like a Disney Pixar fan? Do you like Toy Story?
Yeah, I'm a big Disney guy. I love Toy Story.
Have you seen the new Buzz Lightyear?
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. He kind of looks a bit racist.
You sent me that. You sent me that trailer, man. There's something real off. I just don't trust him. I've never seen a more untrustworthy Disney character in my entire life. That guy just looks like he wants, and it's not even like it's not like he looks like he has like base level untrustworthiness, like he's gonna steal your wallet. Like, I feel like he's got some real dark, sinister thoughts behind those cold, dead eyes of his.
And that chin, I don't know what about the chin.
There's
it is.
something.
That dot.
Why does it have to be so hyper realistic?
I know.
Why? Who asked for this?
He's a toy.
Who asked for this? He's a toy. He's not a man.
And they changed the voice actor from Tim Allen to Chris Evans, Captain America.
And
How you feel
even
about
like,
that?
even if he was a man, he's such a deformed man. His shape makes no sense.
And his hair is purple.
His torso is like one of those, like, you know, those little bean toys. What are they called? Weebles.
The one that fall down and get back up.
Yeah, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Yeah.
That's what his torso looks like, is a Weeble or a wobble.
What are your feelings about Woody?
Like, in general, is he
Just
in this flick too?
I don't think he's in this movie, but
Woody's the OG for
Woody
sure.
is the OG. Who's your least favorite toy?
Probably the pig or Mr. Potato Head.
Dude, Mr. Potato Head, man, he's overhyped.
I don't know why he has to play such a big part in every movie.
He's and the pig, bro. The pig is, oh my god, he's an a-hole, bro.
Yeah.
He's never done one selfless act.
Oh god, dude, like, he's just so self-obsessed.
What's your favorite Pixar movie?
It's a really good question, yeah. Monsters Inc. was pretty fire.
Monsters
I'm not
Inc.
gonna lie.
is the right answer to that question.
All the doors and everything. That was like one of the first movies I have memories of watching. You know, we had like a freak Disney family growing up. I would be eating Mickey waffles every day off the rip. Mickey shaped pasta. I'd never like fusilli pasta. You know, like the corkscrew.
Oh yeah.
Growing up, I just knew it as Tigger tails.
Those are my idols growing up, kind of.
Yeah,
Nemo,
I would say
Marlin.
Marlin. No, I would say for sure, I think Jack the Pumpkin King is like some kind of like deity, spiritual leader type figure in my head to me.
Dude, that movie was insane.
Slaps. Christmas movie or Halloween movie? What do you think?
It's a little bit of both. I think it's more of a Christmas movie. I only get vibes to watch that around Christmas.
Yeah, I always watch it.
I never think let's watch Nightmare Before Christmas on Halloween.
You ever see Coraline?
Coraline. I have seen Coraline kind of. I don't know if it was in a dream or not, but I have seen it. And it's one of those freaky movies. I don't really remember that much, but that's one movie that freaked me out. Another movie that freaked me out like that. Just those claymation movies. I don't know, something about
Yeah, there's
them.
something buggy.
You like
about
Coraline?
It was terrifying for sure. I liked it, but it was too scary with the buttons on the eyes and them sewing the eyes.
Yeah.
It was a little over the top for me. Corpse Bride, pretty fire. I like that movie a lot.
Are those all Tim Burton? Is Coraline Tim Burton?
I think it's all Tim Burton. It all looks like Tim Burton. Yeah, that like weird, like freaky, like animated style. I just don't like how everything moves in those movies, dude.
Yeah.
It's so like creaky. It's like they're all like weird, like human eating robots or something.
Yeah. You ever seen Frankenweenie?
Yeah, I caught some of it.
Yeah, I've never really seen that one.
I wasn't
just
too into it.
It looked pretty scary to me. That one seems like it's the scariest. If you could reset your life, what would you change? Anything? It's kind of deep question. Sorry.
If I could reset my life, what would I change? Like, so just go back to like 2001.
Yeah.
July 12th, just snap of the fingers. I get to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Do I have the knowledge of like?
You have whatever you want. You have the knowledge. What would you change in your life? Would you change anything?
Dude, I would probably just start doing like Muay Thai from like age 6 and just conquer everyone in my path and just really ascend to like
that's what I was saying.
Soul Invictus status. I just want to be the king of the castle, dude. That would be sick.
And
if we can choose,
you could choose. You could
Madagascar for sure. I would live amongst the lemurs in a heartbeat.
This is kind of out of pocket for me to say, but I want to be a samurai, man.
No, that would be pretty tight. Yeah.
Not even in like a cultural appropriation way.
No, you could be like the last samurai, that white dude.
that movie's
fire,
definitely.
Dude. Those swords, I wanted a katana so bad, dude. Like, you figure someone's invading your home, like, what are you gonna present? A knife? What if they have a knife, dude? Someone is invading your house, breaking into your domicile, and you have to protect your loved ones and yourself. If you present a drawn samurai sword, who's going to
stop you?
Who's going
If someone breaks into your house, how would you stop them with this, including samurai sword? Do you have like a method? Do you have like an alarm system?
I think it depends what my goal is. Like,
intimidation.
I don't have an alarm system for sure, but I live right next to the front door, so if someone was like messing with it, I could probably tell.
Would you like just put your sword right through the door?
I think I would lock my door and like prepare myself. Maybe like put on like a ski mask or something just to like get the like angry, like violent energy up. And then I would draw on this guy and
draw the sword. I thought you meant like with a Sharpie or something.
Dude, that's like how the real OG samurais did it. It was all ended in one like single blow. Just like pull up, see the guy, wait for him to get to like closer to one of my roommates' rooms so I can create some distance and block him from exiting, lock my own door, get the deadbolt and everything on so it will take him too long to get out, present myself, present the challenge, and then...
Do you have any sword training?
I have played with a significant amount of swords over my life. I've cut a lot of fruit, cut a lot of oranges and watermelon with swords.
What kind of swords?
Besides katanas, just like random, like we used to get a lot. Collingswood when we were kids was like the peak for weapons. When it was my dad's custody weekend, he would take us to Collingswood and he would let me and my brother Noah just go crazy and buy whatever weapons we wanted. And so we would get like ninja stars and like swords and like butterfly knives and airsoft guns. It was sick.
Airsoft guns. I had an airsoft gun. Weapon of choice, I don't know. I'd have to say maybe like butterfly knife, like you were saying, but like I'd have to learn the tricks first for the intimidation emote factor.
Yeah, no, I used to have a butterfly knife that I would like try tricks with a lot. I feel like that would just be so intimidating in a street fight. Like if someone pulls a knife on you, but then you draw the butterfly knife in some like crazy fashion, I feel like they'll just be so intimidated that they just won't know what to do. They'll have to like just back off. They'll be too scared.
What is your favorite food?
I mess with sushi a lot. But oh wait, no, that's not even true. Honestly, if I'm gonna say anything, it would have to be probably like French fries.
French fries, good choice.
Oh wait, no, I take this back. Yo, they got these things. This type of Japanese food. It's like an onigiri. It's like a little rice ball that I get like pickled like kelp in, and then they wrap it in a like strip of seaweed, And those things, dude, I used to trek like an hour from my apartment in Brooklyn just to buy like a handful of them.
That sounds pretty bussin'.
It was so gas.
What's your relationship with food? Like, are you a picky eater?
I eat a lot. I eat a ton of food. I like to eat like the same stuff a lot. Like I eat a lot of pasta every week. A lot of pasta and a lot of rice and beans.
Rice and beans. That's my staple diet right now.
Dude, it's classic. Like
Classic,
I would
cheap.
probably eat like 4 pounds of pasta plus a week.
4 pounds.
Maybe more.
How do you like your pasta? Like spaghetti, lasagna? Like
I'm a big. I mess with the Tigger tails. I mess with rigatoni. I don't like. The only reason I don't like making like spaghetti or anything is because it's so hard to like mix the seasoning in. You get that like one bite of just like bland pasta and it ruins the whole experience for you.
I could stand behind that. I'm a lasagna guy myself.
I could mess with lasagna.
Who is your biggest role model?
I would say
real or fictional. Doesn't have to even be a real person.
I would say I got a tattoo for him actually. The crocodile hunter, yeah.
Oh, who's that?
The Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
King
Crocodile?
among kings.
Is a king.
Lion among sheep.
I used to watch Bindi the Jungle Girl.
Fire. Gorgeous.
I was Steve Irwin's one of his biggest fans at one point. I'm guessing you are his biggest fan.
Yeah, I would call myself his biggest fan. I used to watch that. My mom would just put like any of his shows on when I was a kiddo, and I would just watch it endlessly on like a loop, just over and over and over again. I think that's like really led into my infatuation with like animals and stuff. It's just watching him like grab all these animals.
Do you have a favorite animal?
I like snakes a lot. I like raccoons a lot. I like opossums. Any macropods. I'm a big macropod guy.
What is a macropod?
Anything in that category, a pouched mammal.
I thought that's
Marsupial.
That's another term, I guess.
It's like I think a lesser classification of these pouched animals. I think there's like extra features that need to define a macropod, but.
Do you wish you were born in a pouch?
Yes. I think if you think about it, like, where would the most comfortable place to be in the world be?
Probably a pouch.
A mother's pouch.
Probably very warm.
Warm.
You got milk you don't even have to walk for.
Exactly. Warm, milk, soft. Think how soft the inside of a pouch is.
Do you think there's a bathroom in there?
I guess you could probably pee in the pouch, but I'm assuming
I wouldn't recommend it.
I'm assuming your like pouch mommy would want to take you out of the pouch before.
Yeah,
you,
maybe
like,
it should get some sort of infection from that. It's kind of gross.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean to pervert it like that.
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't pee where you pouch. I think is what it comes down to here.
My favorite animal, I'd probably have to say, I don't know. I've had a bunch of animals. I've had an iguana. I had a eastern red newt. You ever seen those?
Yeah, those things are fire.
I had one of those, but he died.
Rest in
I
peace.
have a bunch of frogs at home, a couple parrots. Out of all of them, I don't know. Parrots are pretty funny.
Parrots are sick.
When I get a parrot, when I get older, if I ever get one, I'm just gonna teach it a bunch of curse words.
Yeah, just real derogatory stuff, but it's like
And
it's
then,
not even your fault, but it's like because
just
it's the parrot saying
The
it.
parrot saying it. I bet he'd be like, I'm saying if you put on something like crazy, like
Make him listen to like Bobby Shmurda constantly.
you have to free that parrot.
Imagine you came home like long day, you're just super tired, dude.
And your parrot just goes, about a week ago.
Your bird, you walk in the door and your bird says to you, shmoney Dan. It would be over. I wish my hermit crabs could talk. Yeah, they'd probably be salty. They'd probably have some sailor language. Yeah, those guys are so mad all the time.
Dude, I went to my friend's house once. She had a hermit crab, and we were like cleaning its shell or whatever. And she's like, go pick it up. And the thing latched onto my hand.
Dude, they pinch you and they do not release. It is like a solid iron grip. I remember my homie's hermit crab pinched me right on like the center of my palm once. And it was literally like one of the worst pains ever. It was like a needle going through because he just got like a little bit of skin. I was like, No, stop. The trick is you have to run them underwater. They get nervous when you run them underwater. So
Really?
yeah, that's how you get
Because
them
I was
released.
running them underwater, and that's when I got pinched, and I like went like this, and she had like one of these type of ceilings. There was no panel, and it went up into the ceiling. And then we lost the hermit crab.
My cat got lost in this kind of ceiling
Do
once.
you have a cat currently?
Yeah, she lives with my mom now.
What's her name?
Creep.
Is she a creep?
She's a little freak, dude. She's always slinking around.
Up to no good ever.
She's like kind of grouchy in her old age.
In my experience, I think cats are probably the most fascist animal in the animal kingdom. Just like
You think?
they don't ever do anything like nice
Or productive.
And in my experience, I've seen racist cats.
I could definitely see seagulls being really fascist in the grand scheme. I could see like a seagull like have a little portrait of Mussolini in their like, bedroom or something. Those things are straight like
Or Stalin.
malice.
Stalin. I can definitely see a Stalin loving eagle. I could see those things being pretty racist. Dude, seagulls are another one of those animals. I don't think I've ever done anything good. Other than maybe
honestly.
clean Doritos out of a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, I've been trying to catch one.
I'm telling you, this method
The
I
blanket
saw on
method.
YouTube, you put a blanket over you, put chips on the blanket, cover your face a little bit just so your eyes are sticking out, wait for one to land, and catch it.
I want like the thrill of the hunt though. I want the seagull to look me in the eyes when I capture him.
Have you ever hunted anything before?
I never really went hunting. I would go fishing with my dad a lot as a kid.
Do you keep the fish or you release them? Are you a release type or
we
an
would do
eating
like
type?
50-50. Like depends where we were fishing, but I didn't really eat fish. So, like if we did catch anything, at least at the time I know like I was like just skeeved out.
You like fish?
I mean, I'm vegan now, so I haven't.
Oh, you're vegan?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I haven't eaten fish in a number of years.
How long that's been going on?
Since like sophomore year of high school, I think.
That's pretty cool. I eat a lot of vegan food on the
year,
regular.
maybe.
My aunt's vegan, so I don't really.
It's fire. Yeah, you were telling me that.
So are you in it for health reasons or for animal reasons?
I would say health, but I do eat a lot of pizza. I just don't. I think I started for like animal and environmental reasons. And I've just been in the game so long now that it's just like what I'm used to. I feel like it would honestly be hard to like transition back to any other kind of diet.
So do you have any disparities towards people who eat meat?
Nah, people.
No?
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I for some reason I feel like meat eaters just hate vegans for some reason.
There is like a lot of vitriol. But when it comes to like everyone's like doing their thing. And I mean, there's like a lot of different types of vegans. I can't like speak for every vegan, but it's like I think everyone should just do their own thing. I think it's like there's definitely like benefits. There's like environmental benefits and some health benefits if you're doing it right. If it seems like something you're like motivated to do, I would try sending it. If you just hate it and don't want to do whatever you want, man.
This one's for the ladies. What is your star sign?
I am. Is that like the astrology thing?
I think so.
I am a Cancer, and I'm a Taurus rising.
Do you believe in any of astrology?
Only when it's positive.
Only when it's positive. That's a good way to look at it.
Anytime it's negative, I think it's bullshit.
What about like crystals? Do you believe in crystals or?
I'm a big crystal guy. I keep a lot of crystals. I don't think they do anything particularly. I think they just look real attractive.
I feel the same way. I have like a piece of quartz that I found on the ground once. I have like a piece of amethyst. I don't think they give me any powers or anything.
Yeah, that would be cool if they did.
One of them said when I went and I bought it from some lady in Asbury. There's some crystal shop, and she was like, I get in and she's definitely on something. But she was like, I was like, oh, which one's the coolest? And she's like, your crystal will pick you. And I was like,
Your crystal will pick you.
I was like, whoa. So I bought one, and she's like, this one will ascend you to a higher realm of existence. I'm like, is it so? Am I gonna go to heaven when I buy this? Like, am I gonna die straight up? And I ended up breaking. I dropped it by accident.
No, you're never gonna ascend to a
And
higher
then
level of existence.
she made like the scariest face ever. Did you just drop that crystal? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you have to leave the store. Like you're gonna bring bad omens in here.
God.
Nothing's happened so far.
Do you feel like you've encountered any bad omens?
I did get a pretty serious wart on my finger right here.
Do you think it's because you broke the crystal?
I think it might be, but it's not contagious. So, what is your favorite type of crystal?
I like watermelon tourmaline the most. It's fire. It's this type of tourmaline, and it's usually like a tricolor tourmaline. Specifically, this one is like this pinkish red, and then green. Or I guess it's a bicolor tourmaline, but it's fire.
Do you buy crystals or do you find them?
I'll usually buy them. My dad gives me a lot. My dad's like an ace, like mineral fossil hunter, so he'll go out to Arkansas, a fair amount, and just go gem hunting for like a week or two at a time. Camp out by the mines, and then just like come back and give me some of the haul.
Does he find cool stuff?
He's got some crazy stuff. Like, he's found some emerald clusters, a ton of quartz, like more quartz than you'll ever need in your life. I think the biggest specimen is this cluster that probably weighs like 30 or 40 pounds.
Wow. And so does he dig that up, or he just finds them on the ground?
Yeah, he digs them up. He's like digging in these old mines and stuff.
And is it like it's open to the public, or?
Yeah, most of them you just have to like pay a certain amount of money to like be out. You got to pay for like a campsite or something, and they usually have rules with like how much you can take.
Does he sell them, or?
No, he just gives them away. That's like the same thing. It's like I'll just give away a lot of my crystals and fossils.
What's one thing that people wouldn't expect you to do?
Something unexpected that I do.
Something that like you tell people that you do and they're surprised. Or are you pretty much like an open book?
I'm trying to think. I like to think of myself as like a real mysterious enigma kind of deal.
Like a shadowy figure.
I used to collect ants.
Just like one ant?
I captured a queen and a small colony in a greenhouse, and I was really into ants, and I kept this ant farm for a while, and I was just like living the dream and just doing my ant thing. I'm pretty into ants, and I feel like people don't.
Do you have ants right now?
No, but I'm on the fence about buying new ones right now.
You ever watched Ants Canada?
Yeah, that channel is fire, yo. I don't watch it too much anymore. I've been kind of off my ant game since the loss of my colony, but
you gotta watch. He's got a floating island series.
Really?
Where he made floating islands in a tank and has the ants on them.
God, dude, that guy is a hero.
Seems such like a nice guy too.
And he literally moved, like, he's like, I can't keep good enough ants in Canada, so I'm going to move to, like, the Philippines just to have better ants. Like, imagine upending your entire life and moving away from your family just to keep cooler ants. That guy loves them. He can't get enough of them.
And you listen to him, he's so enthusiastic.
Loves, like, every second. That's the kind of guy who definitely just, like, stares. He'll just, like, sit in front of his tank, like, crisscross applesauce, and just, like, stares at these little insects for hours.
No shade on Ants Canada, but dude, that has got to be like a crazy lifestyle. Like, probably those ants are probably pretty hard to take care of on a day to day.
Do you think it's hard for him to pull? When he like,
well, maybe when he, well, I don't know, because it depends where his ants are. Like, I'm sure like it started off as a little ant thing, and you know, maybe he had a girlfriend at one point and was just like, can we get an ant tank in the bedroom? And then it turns out like now he's got tunnels going through the room.
He's got the tubes. Have you seen? He's got like tubes going around his house.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they go through his room, and that maybe creeps people out.
Like if he like brings a lady home and she's just like faced with like several million ants. Do you think that would like?
And he's got them all named.
Yeah, and he has 7 million names for all 7 million ants. Do you think that would be like a non-starter for a lady?
I don't know. It depends on the lady. Probably.
How many ant farms do you
How many
think?
ant girls, ant ladies do you think there are in the world?
At least 3.
There's at least 3. I was gonna say.
If
maybe
you,
5.
how many ant farms do you think you could keep before your girlfriend would break up with you?
1.
1 ant farm.
I could keep 1 ant farm, and then she would probably get freaked out. He's definitely. I don't know. He definitely has them like whistle trained. Like I feel like he could whistle, and they would open the top and come out.
They would like form like an arm and like push the top off and like form one massive ant body.
Definitely. I feel like maybe he moved to the Philippines because the Canadians were on his scent. He's building an army.
He's building an army.
He's kind of the real life Ant-Man when you think about it.
Yeah, that would be cool if he could like train him to like form a big exoskeleton around him, like Big Hero 6.
That was a great movie. I cried at the end of that movie.
Dude, if he could learn how to do that with ants, it would be over. World dominated. He would own the Philippines.
You know, there's like I forgot what the number was, but there's like, if we're talking weight wise, there's like way more ants in pounds than there are humans in pounds in the world. Like I think there's like I don't know what it was. It might be like 5 times as much as your weight as there are ants in the world.
What does a pound of ants look like? That's a scary thing to think about. A pound of ants.
Do you think a pound of ants would be able
to...
Do you think we'd be able to kill a pound of ants in here, or do you think they would get us?
Do you think it was like us versus them, no one's leaving the room, like one person has to leave? I think, what kind of ants are we talking about? Because that's like a big thing, dude. If it's like black pavement ants, I think we could probably get it after a while. But if we're talking like fire ants, dude, like a pound of fire ants.
Maybe a pound of fire ants. Do you think we could survive in here with a pound of fire ants?
I think it would be hard. I would, if it's like a sealed room, I think it would get to us eventually.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we stand on top of the chairs, take our shoes off, and just go ham. But yeah, I mean, ever been bitten by a fire ant?
It's really painful.
They are really painful.
I stepped on a nest in Puerto Rico. I stepped in 2 nests in Puerto Rico.
I've been bit by a couple of them.
No good. Like the bullet ant. Have you seen those?
Oh, I've heard that's like a rite of passage.
Yeah, with the gloves.
Yeah, you definitely watched Coyote Peterson.
Yeah, I watched it. It was this other video when it was like Hamish and Andy. They got that. It's that I forget where it even is. It's some like indigenous tribe. And they take these like gloves and just put live bullet ants like woven into the gloves. And it's like they can sting like 50 times a minute. And so you just have like 2 like oven mitts on with the most like painful ants on earth just stinging you over and over again. And they got to do kooky little dances while they got the gloves on.
Do you think the ants are in on it? Because that kind of sounds like, I don't know. That
I don't know
like
how,
slave labor.
In my eyes, it's like, I don't know how they can get the ant woven in. Like, how do you hold an ant still without it biting you so you can weave it into a glove?
They definitely picked up the ant whistles. They know what's up. Have you ever heard of the rattlesnake church?
The rattlesnake church.
That it was like a pretty famous case in America where the rite of passage for this one church was getting bit by being in a room with a rattlesnake and seeing if it would bite you. Do you think a rattlesnake would bite you if you were in a room with it? Or do you think you would pass it, the rite of passage?
So it's like, do we have to like kill the snake? Or
No, you're in the room, I think, and you have to sit with the snake for a certain amount of time. And if it bites you, you're doomed to hell, and they don't. I
don't think it would be able to bite me regardless. I think I would be able to get it before it bit me.
Do you have experience wrangling rattlesnakes?
Not rattlesnakes, but I've like picked up a fair amount of snakes in the wild.
They stink,
in
dude.
My day.
I picked up a garter snake the other day.
Oh yeah, garter snakes musk.
They stink.
They do this thing. They like spit like it's like pee and like pheromones and stuff. They musk you, and it's like a defense mechanism.
That was really nasty.
They're gross.
Speaking of uncontacted tribes, have you ever heard of that tribe that worships Prince Philip?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do you think, North Sentinel Island?
Yeah, that's...
Do you think if you went there, they would kill you? Or do you think
they would kill me?
You know how, like, one guy went there not too long ago and he got killed? Do you think you'd be able to establish a relationship with him?
I would try, but I would probably get, like, an arrow to the neck or something right in the nape.
Attack on Titan style?
Yeah. It's the most sensitive part of the human body, dude.
The nape?
The nape.
If you got sliced in the nape, would you die?
Anything. If
Really?
someone just grabs you by the nape, what are you? You're defenseless.
That's
You're like a
dehumanizing.
kitten, dude.
You're like a kitten.
There's nothing you can do.
Have you ever been grabbed in the nape?
Once. Maybe
Never let it happen
3
again.
times. 3 times.
Let's talk about your shoe choice for today. You've got the here, let me snap a pic for the visual. So I understand those are gifted.
My girlfriend's mommy, my girlfriend's mommy's daughter bought them on sale.
So your girlfriend?
No, her sister. My girlfriend's mommy's daughter, who is not my girlfriend, bought them on sale and didn't want them.
And they're your size.
And close enough. They're like, toes are hanging off a little, heels shifts around, but they fit well enough, and I was lucky enough to be present when they were trying to be pawned off.
Did you end up paying for them or no?
No, I free score, yo.
Nice.
Big money. I've been wearing them ever since. Me and my girlfriend have matching ones, actually.
Oh, that's pretty sick. Hers are pink as well?
Yeah, she also has the pink ones.
What's your favorite article of clothing?
I'm a big shorts guy. I like shorts and I like hats.
I like hats.
If I could just wear nothing, if I could just be naked all the time besides like shorts and hats, I think I would be really happy.
Do you have a favorite pair of shorts?
Yeah, I'd usually destroy them every year, but every year I try to get like a new pair of like yellow baggy shorts with like a 3 or a 4-inch inseam.
That's pretty nice. Why does that have sentimental value at all, or just you like the way it looks?
Yellow is just my favorite color. There was a period where I would exclusively dress in yellow clothing and nothing else. And that was like the best period of my life. I think it was at my peak.
Even yellow
happiness.
socks?
I wouldn't wear socks.
Oh, you don't wear socks?
At the time, I was not wearing socks. Now, by peer pressure, I have been wearing socks on occasion.
How many pairs of socks do you own?
Pairs? Like matching ones?
Yeah.
4.
Wow. I have maybe 25 pairs of socks.
Matching? You have like both of them?
Yeah.
You have both of the socks?
Probably more than that, to be honest.
That are the same color and everything. Same pattern.
Yeah. And I have a lot of
25
sweaters
pairs.
too. I have a lot of sweaters.
How many sweaters?
Maybe 25 sweaters.
You have 25 times more sweaters than me.
You have one sweater.
I have one sweater.
How many sandals do you have?
I got these and my pair of Tevas that I've had for a number of years now.
Are those the ones that you wore on the hiking trip?
Yeah, I've worn those on just about every hiking trip in my youth.
So do you have a pair of boots?
Nah. I hike exclusively in sandals.
Even in the winter?
I really don't do too much winter hiking, but when it comes to it, in the winter I will wear boots.
Okay, so you own a pair of boots.
Well, they're in my storage unit.
You have a storage unit?
Winter, yeah.
What kind of crazy stuff do you have in that storage unit?
A bicycle.
Bicycle?
My mountain bike. A lot of jewelry, a significant sum of jewelry. My Rolex was in there for a while.
And, okay, now, for any of the listeners who want to hit a nasty lick, what is the address of your... No, I'm playing. You have a Rolex.
A Folex, yeah.
Got you. From where you got the chain from?
Yeah.
What kind of chain are you wearing for audio purposes?
Sterling silver, panther, blood red eyes, jaws wide open.
That is a lovely chain. What kind of hat you have on? Who you repping today?
Baron Birch, Russian bathhouse authentic Russian bathhouse in Freehold Township.
I've been to a Russian bathhouse in Brooklyn, and that was one of the craziest experiences of my life. I mean, like, the sauna, it was my first time being in a sauna. I was maybe 12 years old, and I just didn't expect it to be that hot, and I was, like, dying in there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And there's little kids running around playing catch, and there's a guy sleeping in there. And he gets up, and he's like, "Oh, it's cold in here." And he puts water in the stove. I just remember like, how are these people surviving in here?
It's like a real resistance to heat and cold. That's what I'm trying to be like. I'm trying to like get to Wim Hof levels where I'm just like able to withstand any temperature for any amount of time.
What is the coldest temperature you've been in?
I honestly don't know in degrees. I've been in the ocean in the middle of winter a number of times. So I guess however cold the Atlantic Ocean gets in like February or something is probably when it's like peak cold.
When does the ocean get the coldest?
I would probably say February because it's like always a little off. Like it takes a while. Like when the weather changes, it takes a while for the ocean to like catch up.
Yeah, so I heard like September is like the kind of the warmest.
Yeah, like September, probably early October around here is definitely the warmest. It's like a bathtub. It's so nice.
Wow. I never expected that.
Yeah.
I went swimming in Sarasota and the water was so like warm, it caught me off guard.
Dude, in the summer, that's like the beat part about the summer too, is until like June 20th, usually around like June 20th is when you can stop wearing a wetsuit. The ocean's just too cold to surf without one, unless you're like really sending it.
That's what a spring suit is for, right? For spring?
Get the spring suit, yeah. I usually wear my 3-2 in spring, but I really don't like. I guess it depends. You probably couldn't get away with just a spring suit until it's like pretty late in spring. I would probably say like early June, maybe late May.
Why? It's too cold for
It's
even
still
that?
pretty icy.
Yeah, I don't have a wetsuit. My dad just gave me his from like.
But it's
100
all
years
like
ago.
honestly, if you're, it's like all how much you're willing to do. Like, I've surfed in like late May without a wetsuit, but like you're not gonna want to be in for a while. It's like pretty painful.
I mean, I'm no half center here.
Yeah, if you're committed, Dylan, then you can do whatever you want. You could surf in the middle of winter with no wetsuit if you
Is
want.
surfing easy? Would you consider it easy?
I would definitely not consider it easy.
Would you consider it super hard?
It's gonna feel super hard like picking it up. Like once it like clicks, like it's like any like good like sport, like once it clicks, I feel like you'll be cruising, but it takes a while for it to click. You're just gonna feel really uncoordinated and like off balance for a long time.
What was the craziest wave you've ever caught?
Think like biggest wave I ever caught was probably like 8 feet, maybe 9 feet. And
that was in Asbury?
Yeah, that was in Asbury Lock Harbor, and it was like literally the first, like, that was in fall after the first summer of me learning how to surf, and I was really unqualified, and I dropped in, and I like got really low so I wouldn't fly off, because when you get that fast, if you're standing too high, you'll probably just like fly off the back, and I got really low, and then the wave just like closed out over me, and it was insane.
You rode the whole thing?
I rode it, I mean, for like, it closed out really fast. I wish it didn't, but I'd like dropped in and then like bottom turned and like got on the face, and then it was just like closed out and over, and then I was like drowning for a minute, and then I steadied myself.
That seems pretty fun. I've always wanted to try it. I've done longboarding for a while, like down hills and stuff, but I'd never surfed.
It's just like nothing beats the feeling of like being, it's like you're floating on top of the wave, and it's like the force just like comes out of nowhere, and it's just like a really unique feeling.
Do you like skimboarding?
I have never been able to skimboard. I do not have like the coordination to like run and like jump on it and stay on.
I have a few of them at home.
And
I like skimboarding.
And then you always like land on the hard sand. I don't like hitting the sandbar.
I haven't been able. I'm not a beginner, but like I can't go into the water. I just go on this.
No, that's like so insane to watch people, because I like if you like from a distance, you'll watch these people on YouTube like run at like full sprint and then throw their board down and just like fly out in the lineup like 20 or 25 like 30 feet out.
I don't understand how they do it.
And then they just turn into an unbroken wave and just rip the thing. And like for one, even just like pumping and like actually surfing an unbroken wave on a skimboard is so hard because it's finless and so small. But just to be able to like generate that much force and speed to get all the way out to this unbroken wave is miraculous. Like I can't even throw it down like slowly and like move 5 feet.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've never been able to even. I'm a big scaredy cat, honestly. Big wuss. I don't like getting hurt.
I also don't like getting hurt.
So like it's hard to like like full send it sometimes.
Dude, you know you're gonna hit the sand every time. You like know you're gonna hit the sand and it's just beat.
What about boogie boarding?
I'm a big sponger, yo. I get down with the boogie boards.
Is that what they call boogie boarders?
The real
Spongers?
The real OGs in New Jersey call it sponging, yo. I get so into getting my summer tubes on my Custom X boogie board. Shouts out to Custom X.
I love boogie boarding
boards.
as well.
So much fun. It's like, and it's like more like surfing. It's like a little scarier. Like you have to like worry about this board. It's like mechanically just so much harder to surf than boogie board. But boogie board, it's like anyone can do it. Like if you put anyone who can swim in the water, you can teach them how to like turn on waves and like carve on a boogie board in like a week or maybe like a day. Who knows if they're like good at it.
It's boogie on that board.
You're boogieing on it, dude.
What's your favorite dance move?
I like every dance move involving the hustle. I just really like that old disco dance, the hustle.
I would say mine is probably the whip or the nene.
The whip. I like what's that thing called? The
Does that hit them folks?
hitting the whoa.
Hitting the whoa.
I like hitting the whoa a lot. I feel like I do that.
I've never really mastered the whoa.
A little backwards dab, like
Backwards dab. I've never heard of that one. Where did you learn that one?
it's my own invention.
Your own invention. What's your favorite color?
Yellow. Fire color, dude. Color of the sun.
What was your biggest like wipeout or like injury?
Biggest injury just like ever.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, I triple fractured my foot jumping on a bed. And like I jumped off the bed at my dad's apartment, and my foot, you know how they have those little steps up? My foot like clipped the little step, and I just ate it, and it's 3 fractures in my foot, maybe 4. I've broken both of my wrists in high school. Those were pretty bad.
How'd you break them?
One was skateboarding, and the other one was just like wrestling with my friend at a party.
Do you like skateboarding?
I'm really bad at it.
Yeah, me too. Can you do any tricks?
Can like kind of ollie.
I can't even. Do you have a skateboard?
Yeah.
What's your craziest adventure?
I've had some pretty wild days with my friends in the Alaire River while we're all a little bit out of it for sure. Just like lost in the cavernous wilderness of Alaire for hours on end. That's pretty big. My second fossil trip, the one that got it canceled permanently at the high school, we had gotten lost pretty far back in the woods behind private property. And then without shoes or shirts, and with a significant amount of mud face painted onto my face and flowers woven into my hair, we had to trek through like several layers of hell to get back to the buses, and we ended up hitchhiking back.
Wow, the whole trip? Like everybody on the trip?
No, just me and one other kid. The buses were waiting for us. Everyone was waiting for us, and we tried to take a shortcut back on one road to like get back to the buses quicker instead of walking through the park, and it was a huge mistake because we literally got so lost. I had to walk through a field of like bamboo shoots like barefoot, and my feet were just like cut up, and I had like blood all the way up my leg.
Wow.
But I didn't get in trouble for it. The trip just got canceled forever.
That sucks. So it was your trip to begin with.
It was my trip. It was the Sam Swanson fossil hunting trip, which is no longer the Sam Swanson fossil hunting trip. But now I can just do it in the outdoors club. And we're allowed to hitchhike. There's no rules. So
There's no rules.
there's no rules.
I was gonna ask you. I remember one time you mentioned Puerto Rico or was it Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico.
You said that you had like a pretty crazy adventure there.
Yeah, we've been to Puerto Rico. I've been to Puerto Rico twice now. Once was this May with my friend Christy. I got sun poisoning really badly at the beach, and then we were in a rainforest for several hours, like trying to get to this hidden waterfall. I forget what the dude called it. The guide had a special name for it. It was like Heaven on Earth or something. This crazy.
Wait, is that the one from the movie Up?
It's like it was very like beautiful. It was like it's similar in the sense of like scale and beauty. And we like did some like cliff jumping and stuff over there. Just got super sun poisoned. Lost a bunch of money at the casino. And was overall pretty just wild. They have a restaurant we went to that gives out tattoos and has an indoor swimming pool.
Did you pass out at the casino?
Temporarily, yes. Temporarily.
What is being sun poisoned like?
Very bad. You get these like blisters. It's either you get water blisters, which is just a ton of these little like blisters all over your body where you're sun poisoned, or if it's really bad, you get blood blisters, which are filled with blood.
Oh, I've had blood blisters and water blisters.
Yeah.
I had water blisters, a lot of like thousands on my arm after poison ivy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that was pretty bad. You just feel super sick, like stuffy, like sore throat, like fever, and just really tired. Like I couldn't like do anything. I was just like in bed for like a week after I got home from Puerto Rico.
Wow.
Takes a while for your skin to recover from that.
Do you still have side effects?
No. But it was like pretty chaotic because I went straight from sun poisoning to Lyme's disease and mono. I had mono too this summer.
That's a crazy summer. That is the white boy summer.
Yeah, but I did accomplish the first ever Triple Crown, which is a pretty huge thing, pretty big deal. It's a sporting event, sporting cup that I invented.
And what does that entail?
So you have to collect all 3 crowns in the quickest, most efficient way possible, while also performing it at the grandest, most like spectacular level you can.
What are the crowns?
Crown 1 is either paddleboarding or kayaking in brackish water, and then you have to just like, after you're done kayaking or paddleboarding, you have to just swim. You have to dive under. It doesn't count as a crown unless you're fully submerged in the water source. So then you dunk, like go for a little swim after you paddleboard or kayak, and then you go to the saltwater crown. So you already have the brackish crown. You go to the saltwater crown, and you have to do some kind of surfing or board sport in the water. Body surfing counts, but it's not that spectacular. It's a pretty weak crown grade in the grand scheme of things. So you're trying to surf in salt water, and then you got to go for a swim in salt water. And then the final third freshwater crown, the crown of mud as I like to see it, you have to hike or mountain bike in the woods and then find some freshwater body of water and then swim in it and fully dunk.
So you made this up?
Yes.
So you got all 3 last summer?
I got all 3 in one day, yeah.
In one day?
Yeah, you have to do it. That's the thing. If it's not one day, it's kind of weak.
So like was that your goal throughout the day, or you did all those things and you're like, you know what, I'm going to just...
I started off the day, I like just woke up at like 8 a.m. or something, and I was off work, and I decided to go kayaking in the bay, and then I jumped off that, and I was done kayaking, and I'm like, no, I might as well just like jump off the pier and swim around. So I did that, and then I'm like, God, I kind of want to go to the beach, huh? And then I was at the beach, like body surfing a little bit, so that was kind of a weak saltwater crown, but swam around for a little bit, scored it, and then I'm like, what if I just really make this into a big event and go for the freshwater crown? And then I drove like 45 minutes out into the Pine Barrens to find a lake that was like, it was like red, it was like blood red.
And you swam in that?
And I swam in it.
Wow. Did you get leeched?
I got chiggers while I was hiking barefoot.
What is chiggers?
They're a type of mite that burrow into your skin.
Wow. And how do you get those out? Tweezers?
No, you can't get them out. It's like these bites that they're just extremely itchy. It's like poison ivy, and you just kind of have to deal with it for like a week or two.
They burrow into your skin?
That's like the fictitious thing. I think scientifically they're not burrowing. They're just like injecting saliva into you.
Oh, and you have to just deal with that?
Yeah, you got to deal with it for like 2 weeks. It's pretty bad.
So, have you ever been leeched?
I've been leeched once.
How was that?
Pretty good.
My friend got leeched. We were looking for turtles, and we stripped, like we were at this Rahway River Park, and we were fishing, and we saw a turtle, and we're like, yo, kind of want to catch that. So we stripped down, and we went into the river, and then we went for maybe like half a mile down the river trying to catch this turtle. No avail. I don't know why we thought we were going to be able to catch it. We got out, we're walking home, and he looks down. There's this giant pulsating leech like right here, and threw it off, and just went. That thing vaporized right into the concrete.
Vaporized. Yeah, I got it in that reservoir we're going to, the Wall Township Reservoir. That's where I got my one and only leech.
Is it a good place to swim other than that?
Fire. They got this little sand beach in the way far corner of it, and in the summer, the water is like bathtub warm. It's a giant reservoir,
Really?
but it gets like so warm.
Really, that's cool. Is it illegal to swim there?
The legality is up in the air, potentially.
Okay, so it's, for all intents and purposes, it's legal.
In my eyes, every human has a natural right to every body of water on the earth.
That's true.
So theoretically, we're not committing any crime here because we have natural water rights to this reservoir. Especially as a town native, my taxes have gone into this reservoir, so
That's a fair point.
if you're, in my eyes, it's the old saying goes, if you're paying for it, you're swimming in it.
What's the most illegal thing you've ever done, if you don't mind sharing?
The most illegal thing. This one might have to get cut. Let me think. Small stints of vandalism. A lot of a significant amount of trespassing. I've done
In Minecraft.
in Minecraft of a significant amount of electronic Minecraft trespassing. I have done some pretty over the line mischievous things on mischief night as a child. And I have technically committed tax fraud, according to the IRS.
How?
You ask them, man. That's not a me problem.
So they came to you?
I've been ignoring the letters.
That's not a good idea, man.
I'm being audited right now.
What does that mean?
It
They
means
investigated you?
They don't like my tax return, so they think I'm lying, and I gotta run through some hoops and grease some pockets.
You would be the type to run from the IRS.
Those guys are snakes in the grass, man. You pay them, and they're just never satisfied.
Yeah. That's America. If you could change your name, what would you change it to?
Django.
Django Fett?
Django, Safari, Riverman, Stardust, Swanson.
That's a sick name. You'd keep Swanson on there, though.
Just so my dad pays my phone bill, yeah.
So, Django, is that Star Wars inspired? Are you a Star Wars fan?
I was trying to think. I've actually never seen any of the Star Wars movies.
Never seen any.
Besides, I went to see, not The Mandalorian, Rogue One in theaters, and I fell asleep 30 minutes in and
Wow.
missed it. Just like the name Django. I feel like it's a...
Would you name your kid Boba?
I would definitely name one of my children Safari, I think. Like Safari Jr.
Have you ever been on a safari?
I like to think is every day is a safari for me.
In a way, you're kind of right.
I'm constantly
You're
on a
seeing-
safari.
You're inspecting the world around you.
It's like one big zoo.
And okay, so this metaphor, you're the one who opened my eyes to this metaphor. Lion, repeat it. About the lion and the sheep.
Some people are born lions and some people are born sheep. I had a question for you, Dylan, to bring up about this.
Yeah.
Would you rather die a lion or live a sheep?
I'm gonna die a lion.
Die a lion, exactly.
But
why would you want to live as a sheep?
Yeah, why would you want to live as a sheep?
That's
so,
what I'm
do you
saying.
consider yourself a lion?
I would like to think of myself as a lion, yeah.
What's the biggest lion thing you've ever done?
It's a really good question. The biggest lion thing I've ever done.
Like an alpha, sigma level. Sigma male level.
Alpha, phi, beta level.
Activity, yeah.
I think, like, from an external perspective, probably, like, all the ridiculous cold plunges I do in the winter are probably the most, like, people are like, why would you do that? That seems so terrible.
But they're all betas.
They're all sheep.
They're all sheep in a world of lions.
In a world, we're lion living in a world of sheep, honestly, yeah. Dylan, what's worth more, a bird in the hand or two in the bush?
A bird in the hand, I would say.
Yes, correct. That's a lion kind of answer.
It's a lion answer.
A sheep would say two in the bush.
I'm not a sheeple. Before we wrap this up, I know you got to go to class soon. What is one piece of advice or one thought that you want to leave the listeners with?
When you make eye contact with someone, look them in the whites.
Explain that.
If you don't look at someone in the whites, I feel as if it's their right to take your whites and make theirs whiter.
That's very interesting. I know that kind of changed my perspective on the world a little bit.
If you don't want to lose your whites,
you have to take souls in a way.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's either you're losing whites, maintaining whites, or you're lying and you're taking whites to make your whites whiter.
So your goal in life is to get the whitest whites?
I want my eyes to be piercing. It's not necessarily my goal, but is it happening? Are my whites getting whiter?
I noticed it.
I think so. I think it's a reasonable thing to want the most beautiful eyes. And if you have to get there by stealing and gaslighting and attacking who you find to be weaker than you, then I think it's a reasonable request, man. You're either a lion or a sheep, and I'm not getting my whites taken. I'm not a sheep.
That's a good piece of advice. Anyways, thank you, Sam. This went better than I thought it would. I thought we would just end up talking about Adventure Club the whole time, but we did delve into some pretty important conversation that I think the world needs to hear.
I think it was fantastic. Thanks for having me, Dylan.
Thank you so much for being here.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, what does that mean?
Goodbye in French or something. I don't know. I took Spanish in high school.
Anyways, thank you for listening. This is episode 2 of the CHUDCAST, and I will catch you next time. Peace.